Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to continue with the birthday readings, and also um, I have a lot of announcements to make. I don't think that I can make it for the weekend, but I hope that you receive it. I'm going to publish it actually again on the community section, because I was thinking I wanted to do my first live. I wanted to try to do a live on YouTube. Of course, not a very long one, but I wanted to see how it is, the experience. My channel already had, like, it had been a year. It was my first anniversary on this platform, so I wanted to chat with some of you. But of course, my time zone probably doesn't match other people's time. So I hope that the people that can join actually, like, that they have a free time. I was thinking about doing it on Sunday, where I could bring my tarot decks, and we can chat a bit about what's going on in in the K-pop community, or other things about mental health and stuff, and we can hang out a bit. And it's going to be my first time, so I still have to get used to the initiating a conversation and bringing up a subject. So if you have ideas, I would appreciate it. So today, I had among all my recommendations a lot of 17 members. And of course, you know that I try to be fair. I want to include as many people as possible. Of course, that I would like to finish this series tomorrow. So then later, next week, I can concentrate on the romance ideal partner series, so we can move on from the birthday people tarot reading. But I hope that you enjoyed it. And in this opportunity, I want to read for two 17 members, and I include both of them because like I was having a different like I didn't want to leave one out. I don't know. I was like, oh, maybe I should read for both of them. So uh, I'll try to be very short in my descriptions, so I can give both of them a quality time. But yes, today is going to be about 17th decade and Vernon. So I know that they both have their birthdays on the same day, and what they do also have in common is that, yes, they're both Aquarius, but at the same time they both have water moons, in the sense that DK has a moon in Cancer and Vernon has a moon in Scorpio. So, very emotional guys, very like deep people, very like loving, very connected with how they feel, very nurturing as well. Of course, that the nurturing part will be more on DK side, not so much Vernon. Vernon, I mean, Scorpio is a bit more complex, but the loyalty is there. So let's see what cards they got. So let's start with DK. DK got the Ace of Cups, the Knight of Wands in reverse, and the Fool. And then from the Oracle of the Chakras, he got the card of Perception. So yes, I think that starting off with the Ace of Cups, he's definitely he started this year feeling very emotional, and at the same time, like, him really wanting to have a year with a lot of more opportunities, probably opportunities when it comes to expressing himself more. Like, I don't know if he writes or if he is in charge of producing some songs or the lyrics, or if he writes poems or something like that. Because I sense that definitely the Ace of Cups, it's a very emotional and also a very abundant start, and it's the start of something that you really want from the bottom of your heart. It could also indicate the start of the relationship as well, but I'm not getting that vibe yet, but whatever his reasons are, if he is single or not, I think that it all has to do also with his professional side. I think that, well, he is an artist, so to be sensitive, to be emotional, to have this sort of very imaginative kind of mind and with a lot of ideas. It's an amazing attribute, and I think that for him it's going to be a year about like having a lot of ideas and having like a lot of things that he wants to try in an artistic way. I don't know what he does outside the group, if he has individual activities, but I think that definitely he wants to expand himself a bit more, probably like take more chances, like having different opportunities or different roles. But then we have the Knight of Wands in reverse. So it means that he is a very passionate person. He probably wants to start right away, like doing something inspiring. But I think that his energy is going to be a bit black, or probably his opportunities are not going to be very reliable. I mean, like the opportunities that can come up for him, probably they will face a few delays, or a few like interference. There's something here about him wanting really bad to move fast towards an opportunity, and like he's really desperate to have a new and a new original new beginning. And I think when I say this, when I mentioned that he definitely wants this from the bottom of his heart. So I don't know, maybe if last year had been a year of a lot of, I feel like his past energy lets me know that he felt a bit trapped, or a bit like he couldn't connect with opportunities or with prosperity. Like he had moments of where he felt lucky and where he felt like successful and resourceful, but then he also felt restricted. So then here, I think that it's also this need, this very almost like violent need to actually break free from the mold of what they expect of him. Probably he wants to do something different. He wants to be edgier. He wants to show different sides of himself. He wants to have some kind of rebirth. When you have like a brand new beginning where you got rid of all the past conceptions or preconceptions that people have of you. I think he is an Aquarius. So, for me, the Fool card, it's a representation of the Aquarius energy. It's like, when you enter a new cycle in your life and you're like, okay, like I am available, I am free, I am wild, I am open to opportunities. Like, come on, give me something new. And also he wants to be free. There's something about him wanting to be free. And I think that it has to do with creativity. It has to do with having a sort of like decision over his career. I don't know if maybe in the past things didn't go the way he actually expected, or he got a lot of no's. A lot of people say no, like this is not the right time, we shouldn't do this. Like, I'm not saying that he didn't enjoy last year, like he didn't have fun. I think he did. But this is talking about him, and his personal nature, his individual desires. And also starting off with the Ace of Cups. For me, it's obviously showing me his moon in Cancer, that probably he does put other people's needs before his own. Like he probably, I don't know, maybe he does have a desire to do something different and individual, like for himself. But at the same time, he does care for others, and he wants the others to get the same opportunity as well. You know, so he doesn't know how to put this into action. You know, we have the Knight of Wands in reversed, so it means that he will try to make a move or do some kind of actions that can lead him to the new beginning that he wants so bad. And I think that it's going to be a bit like a bit block, like he's going to find a few resistances, but he will make it at the end, because we finish it with the Fool. So the Fool is that new beginning. So definitely he knows after what he wants to achieve. It's like I think he wants to be free. You know, I don't know what it means for him to set himself free, but he definitely wants to be free. He's just tired of being in this sort of. He's a bit suffocated. You know, he feels a bit like smothered. You know, like when you are put in a sort of box and you cannot get out of it. And he wants some independency as well. I think it is. I think it is. He's feeling very uncomfortable in his own skin. You know, he's like, I don't know what I want, but I definitely want a change. And this is very personal. You know, this is why I always like tell people to be perceptive and pay attention and be mindful about what I'm saying and what I'm transmitting here and what I'm trying to interpret. Because sometimes what happens with me, thankfully not with everyone, thankfully I have like a great community with great listeners and very empathic people. But sometimes some people that come across my videos, they are like, oh, so you mean he is like this, or you mean that he said this, or you mean that he doesn't like this, and you know, they always try to rationalize or to put the blame on someone if I say that, oh, this idol is not feeling very happy with their circumstances right now. And they are like, they get all paranoid in the comment sections, you know, like, oh, maybe he had an argument. I notice he's not happy. I notice he's not smiling. And it's not about that, guys. It's not about you consuming or you watching a tarot reading or an astrological reading, whatever, and you're trying to find someone to put the blame on. You know, like these are individuals and these are people that go through existential crises as well. They do, especially these two members that I selected today, that they have water moons, so they are very emotional, so they tend to have these moments where sometimes they feel this deep need to not hold what they had been feeling inside anymore. You know, they need to be true to themselves, especially if you're talking about Aquariuses, of course. But this is what I'm saying. Like, if I say that he is feeling a bit restricted and he wants a new beginning and he wants to try something new, this doesn't have to do with the group. Because we're not reading for the group right now. We are reading for an individual. We are reading for DK in this case. So he's like showing me through the cards that he needs a new, fresh new start. And that he will eventually get it. Of course that he, you know, the Fool, it's a major arcana, so it's a very expansive meaning, you know. It can mean a new beginning in a lot of different ways, you know, and in a lot of different aspects of his life. But I think that he doesn't want to waste more time like being like stuck in a box, you know. I don't know if people had like labeled him to be, oh, you are this sort of artist, or you are this sort of musician, and so you are that, you know. And he wants to show different facets of himself. He wants to show people different sides of himself, because I think that he's a little bit bored as well, to be honest. I think that he's a little bit bored. I definitely do not see that this guy is resting. I see that he had been active, and he's someone that has things to do, and he does a lot of training. I mean, he doesn't have a spare time. But what I'm saying is that he wants to find a new meaning in what he does. You know, he wants to do something original. You know, when you get caught up in a sort of activity or in a job where you have to do the same thing over and over and over, and you are looking for that one chance to do something different. You know, so you can feel the excitement, the adrenaline of doing something new. And it's great. I love it for him. I love it. And possibly this also is talking about the group. Probably also the group is going to be entering a new era, you know, and a new concept as well. That is going to be very different from what they had done in the past. So it's going to be, like I mentioned, it's going to be challenging, but it's what he wanted, actually. It's just that I think that it's going to take a while. Like, don't get too excited. Like, don't get, wait, be patient for them. Be patient, be supportive of their work, because I think that you will eventually see it. And then of the oracle, yes, he got the card of perception. So yes, I think that he definitely is connecting with his perception. You know, like I mentioned, he has a moon in Cancer. I think that probably he is one of these people that he had always had this sort of gift, or this sort of ability to see beyond the facades, or see through the BS, you know, that he definitely can see, or he can sense other people's energies, and he can be able to discriminate, you know, like, oh, I like this person, I'm not sure about this person, you know. He sort of has this sixth sense, but I think that he hasn't, like, paid attention to it, because I think that he finds it a bit ridiculous, to be honest. He finds it a bit ridiculous to be a psychic, quote unquote, you know, but he does have the gift. He does have the ability. So I think that if the card of perception is here, it's definitely telling him to let himself be guided by perception. Because actually, if he follows his perception, he's going to do what's right for him. And he's also going to become more aware of things that probably are very obvious, are in front of him, but he's not accepting his gift. You know, he's not accepting that he has this sensitivity. You know, I think that he's very emotional, but sometimes he tries to hide this emotional side with a lot of laughter and with a lot of humor. You know, I feel like for him to get emotional, it's like he feels awkward being emotional, you know, and this is because, well, Aquarius and Cancer energy are very different energies from each other. So he probably, you know, he doesn't believe in these things, or maybe he has, like, I don't know if he's religious or something like that, and he doesn't believe in that. But here with the card of perception, definitely is showing him that he needs to trust his instincts and also his perception and his intuition, because actually they will guide him and they will give him a sort of very important insight about himself. You know, I think that he should also do some inner work in himself. Of course that he's really young, and this is the reality. These people are working in an industry where it's not about your inner world so much, it's more about how you work on the exterior of yourself, like looking good, like being fit, like being handsome, being beautiful, being considered perfect, being always in a good mood, always smiling, always cute, always sexy, you know, and it's like, it's not so much like about, oh yes, take a moment to connect with how you feel. You know, it's not about emotions. So I think that it's going to take a while for him to actually connect with this very sensitive part of himself. But he's definitely, this year is going to be of a lot of revelations for him. You know, he's going to be like, oh, this that I'm feeling is a sort of calling for what is going on around me. Or he's going to be able to differentiate what he feels and what he feels that the other feels. Because I think that he's this sort of like intuitive and emotional sponge, that he absorbs the energy of a room. So if he is in a group, he will probably be able to pick up everyone's moods and energies, and he will absorb them as his own. You know, oh, I'm feeling down because, oh, I'm feeling overwhelmed by all this. And actually, it's not him, it's the whole situation with the people around him. So he needs to differentiate what is his and what is of others. And then, okay, let's move on to Vernon. We know Vernon is also an Aquarius with the moon in Scorpio, so a lot of more emotional turbulence here, also a lot of like intensity, determination, and also strong emotions, you know, not negative emotions. There's not such a thing like negative emotion. There's strong emotions here, you know, in the sense that Vernon is very capable of feeling extremely happy and feeling like extremely sad. Like he can go through from 0 to 100 in a second. Also very emotional, but also very composed. Like it's very hard to actually see him like lose control of his emotions. But if you look at him, you know that that intensity is there. Even if he tries to conceal it and tries to hide it, there's something in he's very magnetic, you know, there's something about his, you know, his features or his body language that lets you know that he is someone that is much more than you see, you know, he is a bit more complex than just a pretty face, you know. And I also wanted to take this moment, I don't know if I mentioned this in my readings for Vernon, but you know, people always call him like that he is a different version of Leonardo DiCaprio because he does look like Leo. And there's, for me astrologically, there's a reason behind that, because he is a moon in Scorpio and Leo is a moon in Scorpio. So it makes sense that when sometimes people that have strong Scorpio placements of moon in Scorpio people, you tend to be physically similar to the people that have the sun sign in that sign. For I give, for example, in my case, I am a moon Scorpio as well, and I had been told that I look like a female, I don't know, a famous female that is a Scorpio. It's a Scorpio sun. But you know, I'm a Capricorn, but I have my moon in Scorpio, and I never was like, oh, you look like that Capricorn because you are Capricorn. It's like, no, I never had that. The ones that they were like, oh, you look like that person is usually a Scorpio person. So in the case that Vernon looks a bit like Leonardo DiCaprio, it makes sense because of his moon in Scorpio. So let's see what Vernon got. He got the Magician, the Two of Wands in reverse, the King of Wands. And also from the Oracle of the Chakras, he got the card of Dedication. So I think that, yes, definitely, I think that Vernon definitely is very aware that he does have a lot of, he has a lot of resources, you know, that he does have a lot of attributes and a lot of power and probably influence. You know, I think that probably, I don't know if he had been told or there were a lot of offers coming his way, you know, that he's like, a lot of people want to work with him, honestly, because of his looks, because he's a very handsome guy. He has this sort of appeal to him. He's also very mysterious. So I think that he is someone that has a lot of possibilities, and he is aware of that. Because if we start with the magician, definitely is someone that he has all these elements in his table, and he's like very carefully and cautiously thinking about, okay, what am I going to choose to do today? So I think that this year is all about having this sort of, also this sort of, because I think that actually Vernon is this very attractive uh, person and artist, that actually he doesn't need to appear everywhere for you to be like, oh, that's Vernon. Like, like he is, he can be in a segment of a show for 5 minutes or 3 minutes, and everyone talks about him. So he has he has this influence over people, especially in the industry. Like, a lot of people come to him and they want to promote him, they want to promote his image, they are offering a lot of deals, and actually, he's like, I don't know if I want to do that. And this is why I think that he holds the power. Because I think that other idol in his shoes, he would be like, okay, I'll take it. Yes, what do I have to do? I have to be here, here, there. And he's like, I don't feel like it. Like, he's very true to himself. And he's also, like I mentioned, always remember, he's a moon Scorpio. So he is very selective about what his decision. He doesn't want to be manipulated by others, because he definitely senses the desire of others coming to him, and he feels a bit uncomfortable with that. It's like, okay, I want to do what I want to do, but under my terms. So maybe sometimes he does play safe, and sometimes he's like, okay, I'm staying with the group. Like, I'm staying in the group, or I'm doing activities, but with the group or with other members. If the other members are not here, I don't want to do it. Something like that. And especially in this time in his career, he's like very selective. He's not worried. He's not like overthinking, like, oh my God, I need to get more gigs or something like that. No, he's in control. He's in full control. Because yes, we have the Two of Wands in reverse. So the Two of Wands, when it's upright, it means that you definitely have plans for the future, or you are planning ahead. And in this case, it is reversed. So it means that he's not going to make a decision. Yes, he's looking at the horizon. Yes, he's looking at all these opportunities coming his way, but I don't think he's going to act on it. Because I think that he doesn't need it. I think that in this case, he knows exactly where he wants his career to go. And he probably is very concentrated that his whole success and his whole identity comes with the group. So if the group makes a progress, he will be there. And he will shine, and he will have his moment. But he will not go knocking on doors and asking for everyone a gig or an activity so he can promote himself. He's not easy to convince also. You cannot be like, okay, I will pay you, or I will give you this, I will give you this deal, I will give you this. He's not interested. This is why he's a mystery. Because actually people do not know how to convince him to actually work with them. He's like, I'll think about it, but he never makes a decision. And yes, then we have the King of Wands. So he is a king, and this year he's going to feel also in his element, he got very powerful cards. Very powerful cards. He is where he wants to be. And he is a very passionate person. He is a very determined person. But he is not going to get desperate for the spotlight. You know, I think that there's a part of him, and this is very Moon Scorpio actually, he does have a conflict with being famous. Probably he doesn't want to be famous. He doesn't want to be pursued that way. You know, he feels a bit like annoyed when people are all over him and all over his energetic field because he's very sensitive. So, you know, you probably can tell in his face when he's not comfortable with people. He probably is a bit of a loner as well. But when he is in the group, when he is part of 17, he definitely shines. He shines. He shines because he gathers energy and strength from the group. And I don't think he is thinking, oh, I want something else. For example, we were talking about DK. DK definitely wants something more different, challenging, like a new opportunity. He definitely wants to get out of the shell. You know, he wants to get out. But in the case of Vernon, Vernon is like sitting in his throne. He's like, okay, like call me when you're ready. I will go to work. I will do my thing. I will have fun. He's very honest. You know, he's very honest about what he wants. He's definitely very proud of the progress and all the growth that he has experienced with the group. He doesn't want to leave the group. You know, he doesn't want to go and hang out with other idols or other, you know, of course he must have friendships and connections with other idols. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that for him, probably the sense and the feeling of being considered quote unquote successful or being experiencing a very prosperous moment in his career is to be part of the group. You know, but definitely he's very wanted. This is what I see here. He's very wanted, and he will probably do a gig here and there, but he's very selective about what he does. You know, I don't see him like him actually being like, you know, like my manager coming to him and be like, okay, you need to get ready because you have to be there at 5 and you have to do this and this and this. I think that in Vernon's case, he goes and he does, he participates in projects that he feels comfortable with. And I think that if he doesn't feel comfortable, you will notice it right away because he does have a poker face, but at the same time, like I mentioned, there's this strength in this magnetism in his aura that even when he's silent and he's not moving, you can sense if he is having fun or if he is annoyed. So I definitely sense that this year is a year that he will probably like feel really successful and really prosperous without feeling so exhausted. You know, like him doing his part, him shining, him being on stage, but not like, oh, I need to go and find gigs and activities and I need to be on TV and I need to be on this and participate in this show and then go to the other show. And no. I think I think that also it's something very normal of his to actually reject a few things that he doesn't feel like actually it has to do with him. Probably, I think that probably the other members are the one that get him to go with them, you know, like, oh, let's go, let's do this, let's participate in this. Because actually he's a really funny guy and he does have this sort of like presence, you know, that he can be very, well, he's very attractive and he's different, you know, but at the same time, I think that he's like, I'm in this time of my life where I can choose what I want to do. And if I don't want to do it, I don't do it. And I feel proud of that. I feel proud of myself as an artist or as a famous person, that fame doesn't consume me, or that fame is not something that I'm chasing desperately. because unfortunately when you have all these groups that are starting, they have to get involved and participate in a lot of lame shows and activities that actually do not resonate with their image or what they want to do or their values even. But they do it because they are starting, so they have to put up with that. But in this case, about Vernon, he's like, I don't have time for this. I don't want to do this. If this doesn't feel genuine to me, I will not do it. And then we have for him, in the oracle of the chakras, he got the card of dedication. So yes, I think that this is what I wanted to say about him, that he is a very dedicated guy. But I think that his dedication and his loyalty is to the group. It's to the group and to the group's activities. If he has to go to a show to talk about the group's new comeback or album or whatever they're going to do, he will be there. But to promote himself only, he's like, I don't know if I feel comfortable with that. And I wanted to emphasize this because when I saw the magician, I was like, oh my God, this guy had so many offers, like so many people coming, like, we want you here, we want you to be part of our team, we want you to be part of our project, we want to use your image, we want you to... And he's like, I think about it. He's like, okay, I'll let you know. And I'm so amazed, and I'm so like, because I never saw this actually. This is my first time reading this sort of energy, and I don't see a conflict actually in here. I don't see him being angry or upset. No, he's actually very proud of himself, but not in a narcissistic way. He's actually he's in this level where he's unbothered, and also he's someone that he doesn't like gossips or scandals. He just want to be left alone. This is what I think, that he's a very different kind of celebrity. I don't know if to call him a celebrity, but he's a very different public persona. He probably is a bit of a hermit as well, a bit of a loner. So he probably, yes, he does his work, he stands in front of the camera, he goes to rehearsal, he shoots his part, he records his part, but then after that he has a life, a private life of his own, where he has other hobbies or where he has other activities, and he hangs out with people that are not from the industry or that are very different from people of the industry. So I think that he does have like a very intimate world about himself that he definitely protects, is very protective of. That it's not that, because I'm an idol, I do quote-unquote idol things. No, he's the totally opposite. And he's very intelligent, actually. Actually, I see this guy, like, in the future, like, owning his own business. But not like music-related. I think that a business about a real business. But I definitely sense that he holds a lot of power in himself, and he's also very selective and strategic. So this is very, very, very good. He's very like in control. He's very like laid back, but at the same time he has this sort of desire inside of him that it's very hidden. Like you probably see him like, oh, he's so chill. And actually, he's burning inside. He's very passionate, but he's very controlled as well. He's very shielded. So yes, guys, this is all I have for them. I hope it makes sense. I'm sorry, guys, if I just like stumble for my words, or it's because I'm reading for two people in one take. So it's a lot of emotional, and these are very emotional people. So I'm loving that I'm choosing them, but you can see the difference in their circumstances and also in their points of view about their own intimate lives. So I hope it makes sense. I hope that you enjoyed it. And if you are a fan of them, I would appreciate your feedback because I do not know much about them. I love 17's music and I think that they are great. I love to see them perform. But I do not know much about them except from what I read in the cards. So I would appreciate your feedback if you are a fan. So thank you so much, guys, for being here, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.